Chai, Chat and Wine.
I'm Sonal.
I'm Keena. And today we're going to get a little bit philosophical. I'm going to ask you a question, Dee. How much money is too much money?
Well, probably when you don't have to think about money. When you can afford whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want.
So whether you can afford it or not is not part of your decision-making process.
Exactly.
Yes. So the money side is not an issue. It's whether maybe the ethical side is or something else is, but not the money. Yeah. Agreed. I think, but then I agree. I think when you just don't have to think about it because it's a given, it's there. But in terms of numbers, if you said to me,
what figure?
Yeah, I don't think I have a number in my head.
No, because I think each of us, well, I mean, there is a stat that Oxfam have come out with, which is quite interesting, and it said that just 8 men own the same wealth as half the world.
So men, for starters, only 8 men have the same amount of money
as
half the world has.
Yeah.
And that's a massive imbalance, isn't it? I mean, 8 out of a population of, 7+ billion now. Yeah. It's ridiculous. That's disproportionately wrong. But there's something else we were looking at as well. And there was in America, I think their stat is if you earn, I
think over $700,000 a year or something dollars, then you're considered in the top 1% of wealthy people in the
America.
world.
Oh, in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So again, it's so what we're saying is it's a tiny percentage of the world has this amount of wealth that we can't even fathom, really. Because it's so huge, and there is obviously the question of is that fair or not fair? Probably not fair because it needs to be better distributed.
And I think it's getting worse. It's not like we're getting better with spreading that wealth. It's getting worse. The richer are getting that much richer.
Yeah. And then obviously the other end probably is suffering.
Yeah.
And then there's the squeeze middle, as we keep calling them. But I mean, if let's go away from that because that's a big world problem, and hopefully we have some very intelligent people running the world and going to try and make it a more even place for everybody. It's about making more opportunities available. I think that's one of the roots, isn't it? Is if you make more opportunity available to those who are at the opposite end of the spectrum, then they have an opportunity to maybe you don't have to be the richest man in the world or woman in the world. Yeah. You just need to be. I think wealth is how much wealth is too much wealth. I think is when it makes you make decisions that are poor. And you lose sense of your morality, your personality, what you've been brought up to. Because there are some very, very, very well-off people who are really humble, and you wouldn't even know they have that much money.
No, absolutely.
They live a very simple and straightforward life. They're not into the luxuries of the world. Not that there's anything wrong with them.
No,
I like
if you can afford it, then why not? You've earned it, you deserve it, whatever.
Your life, your choices. Yeah, absolutely. Then you have those who are super, super, super uber wealthy, and it's like nothing is enough, though.
No.
It's that buzz that they can't get enough. So they've bought the next, yacht or the next plane or
what
the next something.
Puts you in that? What gives you that next buzz, that feel that, Well, I think we've seen that. They have to get on a rocket and go to the moon. That's what they have to do. True.
Because what else are they going to do? Where else is that next buzz going to come from?
Yeah.
And it's just that constant quest. So does that equate to too much wealth could mean that you just don't have a peace of mind and you're not satisfied, you're not a happy person? Does wealth equal happiness? There's so many questions here. We're not I don't think in a position to be able to answer any of those, but we have our own take on these things. I do
think that wealth does give you opportunities and choices, which takes a lot of stress off you if you haven't got that.
Of course.
So,
But you don't need that many zeros in your bank account for that stress to be taken away.
Yes.
I think some people would argue and say that just having enough so that you can feed your family, health, education, food for your family, that they're warm, they're safe, they're clothed, that they can afford the nicer things in life is more than enough money. And that keeps you happy. Some people would argue, where they say there's more money than sense. So you buy a gold-plated sneaker because why? Maybe that made you happy, so good for you. Yeah. But does it make you more selfish? Is it one of those things for some people having that wealth makes them more greedy? They need more and more and more and more. Nothing is enough.
I think some people, I think it's probably the way you're driven, your personality, perhaps. Yeah. Because I know a lot of people had a go at like Branson and what's his name? The guy
Gates.
going, no, the other one, Amazon
Bezos.
guy. Going up in space and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. How environmentally unfriendly is it?
But
you could
I
feed a
actually
small
thought,
country.
Yeah, but I also thought, you know what, you guys have done so much in that respect.
They've worked hard.
They've worked hard to get what they've got. No one's said, here you go, here, take this money, it's yours. You know, they've worked hard, both of them self-made.
Yeah.
And you think, you know what, if that's what you want, you've done it, you've earned it, you do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, when you look at the other connotations from it too, it's taken us a step further, hasn't it, really, as a society. Somebody has to spend that money to move the world forward. And like the first person that flew, they needed money to develop a plane. You know what I mean? Things like that. You need to, you know.
Progression.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I also feel though that there has to, well, this is me personally, that there's got to be also an element of, okay, I have so much, I don't need this much.
Well, I'm never going to spend it, really.
Exactly.
Because what can you spend
my you know, people that come after me, my family that come after them that would, the generations are sorted.
Yeah.
What else can I do with that money? Maybe, you know, I personally feel if I was in that situation, I would like to think that I would be thinking, okay, I have enough for everybody. They're all happy. I would put that money aside.
You and yours.
But the rest of it, I would think, right, how can I give back?
Let's do
what can I do?
This.
And I'm sure there's lots of people like the Gates
their foundation
so amazing work, you know.
Absolutely,
and things like that where you look at them and you think, wow, that's impressive.
Well, mind you, people who are criticizing will criticize them as well.
Yeah.
Something they haven't done right. When actually the way you look at it is they've said, here, there's a chunk of our wealth.
Yeah.
Our kids are fine. Everybody's fine.
We're all going to be fine for generations.
Let's put it into malaria cure or whatever is that you know, ignites their passion.
So I guess there's two sides of it, really, isn't there? There's sort of, you know, you can say, oh, how much is too much? And
But is there also an argument that too much money can make you unhappy? We've said that there's a certain amount you need to keep the necessities of the father, bare necessities. You know, is that all you need? The bare necessities covered? You don't need all those zeros? But because if you have too much, does it then tempt you into things that will bring downfall on your lives?
Which you can see that happening too. You can see the other side where you think, okay, I have everything I need. I've got no drive, no push, no will to achieve anything more.
Yeah.
What
I'm
next?
just flatlined,
and
really.
It kind of can kill that buzz, kill that, you know.
That passion, that ambition, that drive.
Which maybe some people might feel then they have to go to drugs to get a high. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you know, we all know that there are the very unwealthy and the very wealthy. All of them do drugs. Well,
absolutely.
Not everybody does drugs, but it doesn't matter which social circle you come
you're
from.
right. Absolutely.
But there is that, isn't there? And then you get... So there's, on BBC Sounds, there is they've done a storytelling of Mahabharata. But they've done it in 2 parts, and it's modern day Mahabharata.
Yeah.
It's actually, if you get a chance, have a good listen to it, because I actually enjoyed it. And of course, it's driven primarily by one brother who wanted all the wealth and couldn't understand why it wasn't left to him.
Yeah.
Because when the dad died, he left it to one son and not the other son.
Yeah.
And who are cousins. And it's like, why did this happen? Because it was a joint family. It's a nice read, and it is. Money is the root to evil.
Well, I think it can cause a lot of arguments, definitely, because
Yeah.
I do see that. I've actually seen examples of that where, in families, the argument tends to be over money.
Yes.
You know, and you think,
and it breaks people up
it does.
when it shouldn't.
Yeah.
And so, but again, it shows a good tear between what would have been 4, 6 good people who could have lived in harmony, because there was more than enough money to go around.
This is the thing, to share.
They fought over it instead, and then they gambled over it, and then he ended up gambling his wife over it. So, you know, the whole Draupadi situation was done in a modern day take sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it just shows it's been going on since Krishna's time, you know. People are still fighting about money. We haven't solved that problem.
No.
In fact, there is a book that started off saying that if you started the world from scratch, you know, everybody was given a set amount of money and they were told, off you go and live your lives. So every single person had the same social standing, same amount of money. What they're saying is that this inequality would come back again. Because there are those who would just go and squander it within 5 seconds on rubbish. Then there are those who would invest it and make it grow and do something with it. And then there are those in the middle who are just going to try their best with what they know.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's a very idealistic world, because apart from having the same money, you've got to have the same other opportunities.
It's motivations, isn't it? What motivates you, what drives you. Yeah. And then that comes probably down to experiences you've had in your past and you've seen, you've gone through.
And how you've been taught as a child to grow up, and, you know, because I'd say that equally for both of us, we've taught our kids that, you know, if you earn £5, then you put a percentage of that away. You save some, and then you learn you don't spend everything.
Yeah.
You pay your bills, you don't live in debt.
Yeah.
You save a little bit, and then you've got a disposable income.
Yes.
Some people don't see it that way, and they
Yeah, and culturally, you could say that we have this thing in our. I know it's very generalistic, but generally, Indians tend to be very much savers rather than spenders. Also spenders. But but you need to save first.
Well, just even look at the Guju community. Within our Guju communities, you know, I'm not trying to exclude anybody, but if you say predominantly, you've got the Patels, you've got the Shahs, and then you've got the Luanas.
Yeah.
But in that, you'd say one community is far more showy than the other. Yeah. One is a lot more humbler than the other. Yeah, you know, and all of that. So it definitely does
it's a really
come in.
Interesting topic, definitely.
It is, yeah. So, but anyway, how much money is too much money? We hope, well, in an ideal world, everybody would have enough, whatever that person's enough is, because we're all different.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, with whatever you have, hope it buys you happiness. It won't buy you happiness, but gives you happiness. Yeah. Till the next time.
Bye.
Bye.